I love newspapers. As a student at the LSE 20 years ago, my friends always thought I was a bit sad when I'd go out late at night to get the first editions. I remember the shifts as a night editor on the Today programme when we'd sit waiting for the pile of first editions to come in and then start rejigging the programme to make sure we were covering the best stories. More recently, I'd stay up to watch Newsnight to get a quick glimpse of the front pages. Now, as well as editing The World at One and The World This Weekend, I also edit What the Papers Say every Sunday night. And as a programme editor on Radio 4, I find it really useful to see what the papers are leading on the night before. It just gives me a bit longer to think about which stories we might take on. But starting tomorrow's papers today was really something of an accident. The newspapers email the broadcasters their front pages from about 8 p.m. to use in the newspaper reviews. They just sat there. Nothing much appeared on TV or online until about 10:30 at the earliest. Well, one night I thought it would be interesting to tweet them. There wasn't any mention of an embargo, so I took a screen grab on my iPad and tweeted the photo. And tomorrow's papers today was born. People immediately loved it. From their comments to me, it was clear that they liked the idea that they were finding out the news first, that they were ahead of their friends. Some newspapers, such as the International New York Times, Metro, and the Scotsman, contacted me to ask to join in. The message about tomorrow's papers today spread. Vogue featured us in their secret address book. The Sunday Times and Times put us on their list of top accounts to follow. And it was going really well. Twitter followers started asking me whether I had the back pages too. I did. The papers sent us those, and instantly doubled my workload every night. I bought the tomorrowspaperstoday.com website to act as a sort of repository for each night's pages. And once I started tweeting them, Sky News and Politics Home also began tweeting the front pages too. It's not been easy. An evening out and a delay to the front pages leads to messages about my well-being. Dinner parties are disturbed as I fiddle rudely on my phone. When I went away on holiday, I received despairing messages as people couldn't live without their Tomorrow's Papers Today fix. And I have to say, it's driven my family slightly crazy. But I've carried on tweeting them for 3 years now. A colleague, Neil Henderson, has become my deputy, solving the holiday problem and at least giving me the odd night off. Many people now know that if they want to see all the front and back pages of the next day's papers, we're the people to follow. They often say that tomorrow's papers today is one of the best things about the licence fee, perhaps not realising that Neil and I normally do this at home in our own time. It's undoubtedly sped up the news cycle. The front pages are no longer available, to the select few in the industry and those staying up to watch late night TV, but they're available to all, and they're discussed and talked about widely. There have been some worries about embargoes, and I've got in some arguments with some particularly sports journalists about it, but I'm really grateful for the support I've had from many individual newspaper editors. We're always happy to hold back tweeting something and have always respected the embargoes we've been told about. In 2012, I tweeted the front pages with the detail of the New Year honours cut out. So headlines like "Gongs galore," surrounded by white space until the midnight embargo passed, were widely retweeted. In fact, I think the powers that be were sufficiently embarrassed to move the embargo to 10:30 from then on. It still strikes me as a little odd that I'm sometimes the first person on Twitter to reveal a newspaper's exclusive lead story, but I think the benefit for the whole industry has been great. It's been huge free publicity for your brands. Through tomorrow's papers today, your newspapers are reaching audiences who wouldn't normally be aware of them. Some individual front pages have been retweeted thousands of times, engaging new, younger readers around the world. And I've lost track of the number of people who've tweeted me saying it helps them choose which paper to buy the next day. Every night, the front pages are reaching millions of people thanks to the BBC. The BBC News UK and global accounts have more followers than any individual newspaper account, and now regularly retweet the front pages to their 2.5 million and 5.7 million followers. Of course, the relationship between BBC News and the newspapers is long-standing. Despite the changes in the media environment, there are still regular slots on the Today programme and Breakfast TV which review the papers. And we now also review the front pages for half an hour on the news channel twice every evening, which Eleanor often does. And in recent months, the BBC is starting putting the front pages on its website and posting a full newspaper review online, complete with links. Positioned prominently on the home page, you can see from the stats that it's often among the most popular pages on the website at times, and is hopefully driving traffic back to the news brand sites and your journalism. The last few years have been a fascinating period. I'm pleased to have played my small part in supporting journalism and British newspapers through tomorrow's papers today, and I'm delighted that there still seems to be a growing appetite for it. Thank you.